Hi and welcome to Jagee's Cookbook. Well, this is a very exciting episode because I'm going to show you something with strawberries. And well, most of the people love strawberries. And why? Because they look beautiful and they taste good too. Especially children love it. Now, I thought of showing you a very easy strawberry tart. Now, when you think about making tarts or pies, it's kind of a, tedious process because you have to make the dough. That's a process, and then you have to make it rest or let it rest for some time, chill it, then bake it in the oven with pie weights or beans, then take it out and then bake it again. It's a long process, but I found out an easier way of dealing with the situation or pie making. So absolutely great and totally delicious. So I'm going to make some wonderful, I'm going to make one strawberry tart, which is absolutely tasty. You're all going to enjoy it. So what are we waiting for? Let's get on with the show. Now, what we do is first, I'm going to show you a very simple way. So to make things very easy, okay, I'm going to line now. This particular cling film of mine, the one I bought right now, is totally a terrible one, okay? I don't know which company it is, but it's terrible and it's irritating me a lot. You have to bear with it, okay? Now what I do is, I'm going to show you a very simple way of making the pie crust or the tart crust. Now what you need for this, 1.5 cups of all-purpose flour, plain flour, okay? We put it here in the cling film. 1.5 cups of all-purpose flour, okay? 100 or 113 grams of chilled butter, not soft butter, it's chilled. It's kind of hard, okay? And cut into cubes, okay? So this is 113, not 130, 113, 113. Okay, you need it cold, chilled butter or even frozen butter, and cut it into cubes into the 1.5 cups of all-purpose flour. Okay, then what we need is 1/4 cup or 2 tablespoons of icing sugar. In that goes. Okay, now 1.5 cups of all-purpose flour, 113 or 100 grams of unsalted butter, chilled, cut into cubes, 1/4 cup or 2 tablespoons of icing sugar or confectioner's sugar. What we're going to do is we're going to work the butter into the flour. We're going to rub the butter into the flour in small fluttering movements. Okay, this is one of my favorite techniques in baking. Rub the butter into the flour so that the end result is like fine breadcrumbs. It's something like what we do for puttu. You know how we say in Malayalam we say puttu nanikkunnu, just like that. That is the process. Only thing is that we're working butter and flour. Keep on using light, fluttery movements. Okay, so now this is almost ready. Well, it's not done actually. It's resembling, well, cornmeal or breadcrumbs, yellow breadcrumbs, beautiful. And I love doing this. We're going to wrap this, okay, once it's into a dough, we're going to wrap it in cling film and then we're going to freeze it for, well, around 10 minutes. That's why I did it on cling film, to make things very easy. Okay, I need 1 beaten egg, so I'm going to beat 1 egg. And what I do is I'm going to bring the whole dough together with this beaten egg, okay? Beaten egg. And mix the whole thing together very lightly. You shouldn't, use the whole force of your hand and knead it like a chapati dough. No, don't do it, because this is a very, very, very soft dough, and you have to be very careful with this. You have to keep it as cool and cold as possible. Don't too much. Some people actually use a fork and do this so that the body temperature will not heat the dough. But I prefer to use my hands because I love the texture of this dough. Try to bring it all together. If you think you need more water, you can add, a teaspoon, a very little teaspoon. Don't add too much because it will spoil the dough. Never, never add. It should just bind together. And the smell is wonderful. The thing is that this crust should smell and taste of really good quality butter. So using butter, that too good quality butter, unsalted good quality butter, is the best choice for this particular thing. Now, this is like soft as a baby's bottom. Now what we do is, this is why I did it on a cling film. I take the cling film, wrap it up like so. What I need is, actually I'm going to freeze it. You're actually supposed to refrigerate it for around 30 minutes. I don't have the patience and you don't have the time to wait for 30 minutes. So what I'm going to do is freeze this for around 10 minutes. Freeze it, okay? What I do is make it into, a 20 centimeter sort of circle. Flatten it, actually. Flatten it. This is more of a rectangle now. Okay, what you do is keep this, freeze this for around 10 minutes. Freeze, okay? Put it in the freeze. Oops, I actually put it in the quick freeze, and then we'll be back again for the next step. While the actual pastry, the dough, is actually relaxing, that's what it's called, relaxing in the deep freeze, what we're going to do is we're going to make the filling. It's a type of custard. Now, if you are a little afraid of making custard from scratch, or you can't be bothered to, then I suggest you actually buy, custard powder and make custard and, fill it up. Otherwise, this is the way to make custard. What we need is 300 milliliters of milk, full fat milk. What I'm going to do is I'm going to warm it up. Make it as hot as possible. Do not boil it. Do not boil it. Make it as warm as possible. So I'm going to do this in the microwave. Again, I'm going to do this as quick as possible. Okay. That's what I said. I'm going to show you a very, very easy method. This is a very, very hard method. There are lots of steps, very tedious steps, one by one. I'm showing you as easy as possible. Okay, now what we do is, for the actual thing, what we need is 3 egg yolks. Okay, this is the way you make custard. 3 egg yolks. Vanilla, we don't need it right now. Sugar, caster sugar, caster sugar or granulated sugar, around 60 to 70 grams or 50 grams, according to how sweet you want. So 50, 60 or 70, according to how sweet you want. If you want it very sweet, I suggest you add it around 60 to 70. Otherwise, 50 would be more than enough. Okay. And give it a mix. Then we add around 2 tablespoons of corn flour or cornstarch, and then 2 tablespoons of all-purpose flour. So what we have is 3 egg yolks. 50, 60 or 70 grams of sugar, granulated sugar. It depends upon how sweet you want it. If you want it very sweet, 60 to 70. Otherwise, 50 to 60 is more than enough. Then 2 tablespoons of cornstarch or corn flour. Then 2 tablespoons of all-purpose flour. All this, mix it up into a yellow paste. Okay, a yellow paste or a yellow ointment. Obviously, you don't have to do it in a glass vessel like me. I'm doing it because I want to show you so that you can see it better. But this would be much easier in a small saucepan. Okay, we'll keep the vanilla extract for the last because we don't want to spoil the vanilla taste. If you have a vanilla bean, the real vanilla bean, okay, the real thing, the pod, what you do is just put speckles of it inside this paste, this ointment paste. This is done, okay. So now you can see it's very hot. Okay, it's not boiling, but it's hot. That's how it's supposed to be. Okay. Now, very, very easy. This is hot milk, okay? 300 milliliters of hot milk, hot full-fat milk. Now, you can also add 200 ml of full-fat milk and 100 ml of fresh cream if you want it more richer. Okay, if you want it more rich and more very, very tasty, then you can add 100 grams or 100 milliliters of fresh cream and 200 milliliters of plain full-fat milk. This is altogether 300 milliliters of full-fat milk. Now we've got 2 mixtures. We've got this mixture, we've got this mixture. We have to mix these 2 together, or we have to amalgamate them. What we have to do is, now it's very, very difficult. This is an egg mixture, this is hot milk. So it's very, 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 very likely to curdle this or cook it. So you have to be very, very careful. What you have to do is, because this is hot and this is cold, or this is at room temperature, you have to temper this. In kitchen terms or in cooking terms, it's called tempering. Okay, what I'm going to do now is temper. That is, bring this or this mixture round about the same temperature of this mixture. So we have to bring this temperature up, this mixture's temperature up. So add a little bit of milk and quickly whisk it. Don't wait. Quickly mix it. Very, very, very careful. Otherwise, it's very likely to curdle. So you have to be very, very careful. If you've got someone to help you, even better. Keep on adding little by little and stir continuously. Do not stop stirring. If you stop stirring, it's going to, it's going to curdle. And work the whole milk into the mixture slowly. Now, while I do this, actually I finished the whole thing. Now, this is mixed. All we have to do is make the custard. Now is the actual process of making the custard. Keep it on a stove top. Light the fire on, well, moderate heat, medium heat, and keep on stirring this until this becomes thick, like a custard. This is the way you actually make custard. If you actually want to make custard for your children, real custard, not from custard powder, this is how you make custard. You use this filling, as this is actually called pastry cream. And you can use it for any type of pies filling pies or any type. You can actually use it with you can also use it for Boston cream pie, which is also very good. All kind of fruit tarts, you can use this. So this needs around some time, so that till it thickens and becomes really rich and custard-like. Only thing you have to be very careful is that you have to keep on stirring without any excuse, because if you just go off or you don't attend this, then this is going to curdle and you're not going to end up. Now the custard is ready. You can see it's nice and thick. The filling of the actual pie is ready. So make sure you keep on stirring without it getting, it shouldn't catch underneath or the bottom of the pan. If it does, it'll taste terrible. Nothing is worse than burnt custard. Okay, so before burning it, I'm going to off this. Keep on stirring it, and this will keep on setting as it cools. Okay. Now, the final step is to add your vanilla extract. 1 teaspoon of good vanilla extract. Now, if you have the real vanilla bean, like I told you, you can add it before when you're actually making the custard. You can add it at that time. But this is an extract, that's why I added it last. So I don't want the smell to go. Now beautiful vanilla, smell comes up, it's beautiful. I love the smell of vanilla, custard vanilla. Okay, so this is done, and let this be, let this cool down and really become more thick. By the time, let's check out our pastry. So this has been relaxing in the refrigerator for around 15 minutes. Okay, actually it just needs, in the freezer, it just needs 10 minutes. This is around 15 minutes. I need a pie pan or a tart pan. Now this is silicone, so it's easy. So what we do is, let's take this and put it in the tart tin. And usually what people do is, usually what happens is, they actually roll it. Okay, the pie crust, the dough of the pie crust, they actually roll it and then put it in the tart tin. But I'm going to press it in because this particular dough has a tendency to crack. So this is much, much easier. Now this has been pressed into the tart tin. Well, now what I do is freeze this again for around 15 minutes, okay, 10 to 15 minutes. Then what we do is just bake it straight. No pie weights, nothing. Bake it straight for around 5 plus 15 minutes, around 20 minutes, till it's light golden. Okay, so we keep this. Okay, and then after 10 minutes, leave it to rest again for 10 minutes, then we'll come back again. Now our pie crust must be ready. Okay, so we'll take it out of the freezer. Yes, it's ready. That is, it's ready to be baked. So what we have to do is, we have to prick this, okay, with a fork, not very, very lightly, not all the way through, so that it just does not puff up, okay. This will prevent it from puffing up. Don't have to go all the way through, just small pricks all over. Otherwise, the pie crust is likely to puff up. We take it and put it in, bake it, or put it in a 200-degree oven, okay? Yeah, we have to bake this for 5 minutes, at 200 degrees. Then we have to lower the temperature to 180 and bake it for another 10 to 15 minutes till it's light golden. That's all. Okay, now it's been around, well, 5 minutes 200 degrees and 15 minutes 180 degrees. So it's well done now. It should be just light gold. Let's see if it's done. Lovely smell, buttery smell is coming. This pastry crust is absolutely divine. Yummy, it's totally. Now, I just put it out here and let it cool. This has to cool down. Now, while this is hot, we can just glaze it with strawberry jam. That is, we do this so that the filling will not actually make the crust soggy. Now you can actually, do it with strawberry preserve or egg white and then bake it for around 2 minutes, just 2 minutes to dry it out. This we don't have to do anything. Just going to cool this. Now the crust is ready finally. First, then what we have to do, remember the custard, the filling we had actually made. This has cooled really well. All we do is, the baking and the cooking stage is over. All we do is pour the custard and fill this tart and let it sit in the fridge just for a few minutes, and then we can start decorating. Make sure the pie crust is cool and the custard is cool, everything is cool, because if it doesn't, if you try to transfer a very warm or a hot pie crust to a normal plate, it's going to break because it's a very soft, flaky type of dough. And just spread it. Fill the whole tart case with the filling. There. So now it's over. Now what we have to do, before we actually put it in the refrigerator to set, it's a good idea to cover it with cling film, otherwise this will actually form a skin on top of it. So, okay. And just put this into the refrigerator, not the freezer, the refrigerator, just for 10 to 15 minutes till it's set. Then we can start our decorating and then we're done. So I'm going to chop my strawberries and make it ready till that sets. And then what we have to do, all we have to do is, just decorate it on, just put it on, that's it. No cooking, no nothing. These beautiful, luscious babies are going to stay as natural as possible, so you get all the antioxidants and all the benefits of the strawberries. So what we do is first hull it. Hulling means what? Taking off the cap, okay? And then I think we'll just, might as well cut it into half. That's right. These strawberries, now, like I said before, you have to be very, you have to enjoy actually when you cut strawberries. Smell it, taste it if you want, and enjoy the smell, the texture, the color. Look at the color, how beautiful it is. Absolutely gorgeous. So my strawberries are all cut and ready to be decorated. Obviously I ate a few, that's why I'm going like that. Take, yes, the tart, which has been set well. Now what we have to do is, obviously, remember I covered it with cling. Just take it out and don't need that anymore. Carefully Take this and set it on here. And then start your decoration. Strawberry. Now this thing, the custard is gooey, yet it's set, so you don't have to worry about it melting or anything because it will stay just like that. Now that's done. Once you've set and you've done it according whatever creative ways you like, you can do it. Make sure that you show a little bit of that custard white because the contrast between the red strawberries and the white is absolutely beautiful. So try not to cover everything up because if you do that, you wouldn't, the appearance of the strawberry tart wouldn't be as beautiful. Now, next what we need is some melted strawberry jam. Now, you can actually use strawberry or raspberry jam, okay? There's no problem. Just melt just a few spoons, okay? Probably or 2 tablespoons or something. Melt it in a microwave, and all you do is carefully to give the strawberries a glaze. Okay, so that's done. Like I said, you can decorate it as as your desire. However creative you like to do it, you can do it. There's no problem. So I know you will all enjoy this because it's perfect. It's a perfect treat for children or even grown-ups. Everyone will enjoy it. The taste or the contrast between the custard and the tart strawberries is absolutely delicious. So yes, go make it, enjoy, have a lovely time. Cheers.